Find out which Atlanta sports team might be making history tonight, coming up on Grady News Source. Athens police were at this bagel shop this morning, but 911 wasn't the reason why. Find out on Grady News Source. Engines might not be the only thing you find under this hood. Stay tuned to find out. If this new resolution goes into effect, the new A+ will count as a 4.0 at UGA. But for some graduate schools, it will be calculated to be a 4.3. Now, it looks like no one's standing in line, but if you look right behind these doors, it looks like something you might see at an amusement park. Now, this is just a small image of what the Romney-Ryan yard sign looks like. But soon enough, you might see some of these compete with a lot of these. The equestrian team has the advantage of having over 60 horses here, such as Owen, and they get to ride them in the home meets. But these guys probably get practice just a little bit more than the actual athletes do. Not only do these flags help us remember 9/11, each one represents someone who died on that day. I'm Teresa Davis, standing right here in Centennial Olympic Park with College Game Day. The atmosphere is very exciting, and here is a behind-the-scenes look.
For a moment, the noise of the election seems to disappear. Two organizations are forming an unlikely partnership. The Young Democrats and UGA Republicans are remembering 9/11 together. Last night, these flags were placed around the Tate Center flagpole by both organizations.
They actually came to us again and asked if it was something that we might want to do again because they knew we had the flags, if it was something we wanted to partner with them as a bipartisan effort, and we absolutely did. It's not about parties with this.
And it's really important to send the message that, in the midst of an election season where we're yelling at each other and we have vast disagreements, it's important that we come together as a country to remember the heroes of 9/11.
The flags were placed so that they form the numbers 9 and 11. It attracted a lot of attention and a lot of photo opportunities.
Not only do these flags help us remember 9/11, each one represents someone who died on that day.
Both groups are sending letters to the troops in Afghanistan. Some students feel that this is a good way to remember the tragic event.
Walking by, and September 11th, so I think it's even more important to reach out to them and let them know that they're still loved and not forgotten by all those here.
I think it's really nice, actually. I mean, any kind of encouragement, any kind of touch from home to our troops is always nice.
The election may foster different opinions, but today it is not important. September 11th is a tragedy, but it is making a future generation of politicians forget their differences and work together. This is a running back in the world of horseback riding. And this is the relationship between horse and rider. It's a unique relationship, sort of like a quarterback and his running back, but it's a little bit different.
It is the most uncontrollable, whether you look at weather and wind and conditions, we have all those, plus the beast that has a mind of his own.
The sport of equestrian is not just blue ribbons and expensive ponies. A lot of girls on teams spend their whole life competing individually, but now they have a bigger goal.
And you're not just competing for yourself and winning for your barn, winning for yourself and your horse. You're winning for a team, and if you lose your point that day, that impacts the entire team and its outcome.
Unlike other NCAA sports, equestrian has a year-round season. But like other sports, they have a home advantage and horse advantage. They ride their own horses at home meets. A UGA rider will draw a random horse, and then the opposing team has to follow up on the same ride on the same horse.
There's a little home advantage for sure, but on the same note, it can be a disadvantage because you may make an assumption that you know this horse so well that this is what he's going to do.
The future looks bright for UGA equestrian. With 5 national championships, they are a force in college horseback riding.
And the next year, same thing. We're just ready to be #1 all year.
For Grady News Source, Teresa Davis. Mud, rain, and a messy parking situation. This was the scene at Hamilton Mill Christian Church, where it looks a lot like a Sunday morning. Today there are no services. People are congregating not for faith, but for their right to vote. The church on Sardis Church Road in Brazelton, Georgia, has prepared for this day, rain or shine.
I knew it was going to rain, so I said, well, let's do extra chairs to get everybody out of the rain.
Right now it looks like no one's standing in line, but if you look right behind these doors, it looks like something you might see at an amusement park.
Voters started lining up around 6 this morning, where the line wrapped around the sanctuary out into the hallways. And despite battling cold rain and the expectation of long lines, some voters say the result was quite pleasant.
Well, we woke up about 6:30, but we didn't get here till 7, and it didn't, an hour and a half, 2 hours, it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't frustrating because the line continuously moved.
I didn't realize. I woke up this morning and I didn't realize that it was pouring rain, and I was like, it's freezing, and this is my day off, and I'm waking up and I'm voting, but that's okay. It was worth it.
I think everybody's been pretty happy. You know, lots of times when people have to wait, they're grumpy. I was just mentioning in there, most everybody's smiling, and, you know, so I think,
the weather.
I know, despite the weather, I think they're happy they're not waiting outside in the rain like a lot of polling places are. So.
The one and only vice presidential debate takes place tonight in Danville, Kentucky. Vice President Joe Biden is the incumbent, but some Republicans are hopeful that candidate Paul Ryan will prove that he can do the job. Democrats are hoping that Biden can use his ability to relate to others to his advantage.
The Romney-Ryan ticket's already going into this debate with the lead and with some sort of an advantage. And Paul Ryan's definitely a master. He knows what he's talking about. He knows the stats and statistics. And I think he's definitely got the edge over Vice President Biden.
Well, the VP debates are not as crucial as the presidential debates in a lot of people's opinion, mine included, but they still are important because you are still voting on two people. It's a two office ticket. Vice President Biden's going to, have a little bit more energy and incentive to do better than he would have wanted to originally.
The debate will start at 9 p.m. and we will also be streaming it live on our website at gradynewssource.uga.edu.